In a televised speech of extraordinary gravity, President John F. Kennedy announces that U.S. spy planes have discovered Soviet missile bases in Cuba. These missile sites, under construction but nearing completion, housed medium-range missiles capable of striking a number of major cities in the United States, including Washington, D.C. Kennedy announced that he was ordering a naval quarantine of Cuba to prevent Soviet ships from transporting any more offensive weapons to the island. They explained that the United States would not tolerate the existence of the missile sites currently in place. The President made it clear that it would not stop short of military action to end what he called a clandestine, reckless, and provocative threat to world.
At 12:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, as President Kennedy's uncovered 1961 Lincoln L4, he introduced a plaza. Nayeli Conner, the First Lady of Texas, turned around to President Kennedy, who was smiling behind her, and commented, "Mr. President, you can't say Dallas doesn't love you." To which President Kennedy acknowledged by saying, "No, you certainly can't." Those were the last words ever spoken by John F. Kennedy. John F. Kennedy had been shot by a man known as Oswald. After arresting Oswald and collecting physical evidence at the crime scene, the Dallas police held Oswald at their headquarters for interrogation. All afternoon, they asked Oswald about the Tippit shooting and the assassination of the president. They immediately questioned him for approximately 12 hours between 2:30 p.m. on November 22nd and 11 a.m. on November 24th. Throughout this interrogation, Oswald denied any involvement with either Kennedy's assassination or Patrolman Tippit's murder.
The USS Henrico Union in Vancouver, carrying the 9th Marine Expeditionary Brigade under Brigadier General Frederick J. Karch, take up stations 4,000 yards off of Red Beach 2, north of Da Nang. First ashore was the Battalion Landing Team 3/9, which arrived at the beach at 8:15 a.m., wearing full battle gear and carrying M14s. The Marines were met by sightseers, South Vietnamese officers, Vietnamese girls, and 4 American soldiers with a large sign stating "Welcome Gallant Marines." General William Westmoreland, senior U.S. military commander in Saigon, was reportedly appalled at the spectacle because he had hoped that the Marines could land without any fanfare. Within 2 hours, Battalion Landing Team 1-3 began landing at Da Nang Air Base. The 3,500 Marines were deployed to secure the U.S. Air Base, freeing South Vietnamese troops up for combat.
On January 15, 1967, the Green Bay Packers of the National Football League crushed the American Football League's Kansas City Chiefs 35-10 in the first ever Super Bowl located at Memorial Coliseum in Los Angeles. The Green Bay Packers quarterback, Art Starr, got the Most Valuable Player award for completing 16 of his 23 passes for 250 yards and 2 touchdowns. The Packers were awarded $15,000 per man, and the Kansas City Chiefs were awarded $7,500 per man. At this time, was the largest single game shares in the history of team sports.
On the night of April 3rd, King gave a powerful speech at Mason Temple Church in Memphis, and he seemed to foreshadow his own untimely passing, or at least to strike a particularly negative note, ending with these now historic words: I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we, as a people, will get the promised land. And I'm happy tonight, if not worried, about anything. I am not fearing any man. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord. Just after 6 p.m. the following day, he was standing on this floor balcony of the Lorraine Motel, where he and his Fiats were staying when a sniper bullet struck him in the neck. He was rushed to a hospital where he was pronounced dead about an hour later.
On July 16, 1969, Apollo 11 is launched from the Kennedy Space Center. The rocket was a three-stage, 363-foot rocket, and the rocket used 7.5 million pounds of thrust to propel it into space. On July 29, 1969, Armstrong plants the first human foot on another world. He says, "This is one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind."